Authentic Conversations. Welcome to The Success Face, a YouTube channel dedicated to empowering individuals to be leaders in their personal and professional lives. Our latest video, Authentic Conversations, is brought to you by Showkeir and Maren Showkeir. In this video, we will be discussing the importance of authenticity in communication and how to have meaningful conversations that lead to action and positive change. Stay tuned to learn more about how to foster authentic connections and make a real impact in your relationships and in the world. Your input matters. We would love to hear your thoughts on the video. Please leave a comment with your opinion. When you talk to people, be open and honest. Don't try to control them. It's hard to have an authentic conversation, but it's worth the extra effort. As if their employees were children, managers frequently speak to them in a parental tone. Workers are freed from personal responsibility and accountability as a result of this. Reality is shaped by conversation. They have the ability to bolster or alter events' meanings. The conversations that take place in the hallway, on the shop floor, and around the water cooler are far more influential than executive value statements. Workplace, inauthentic conversations can quickly endanger change initiatives. Command and control structures in the workplace deny employees their freedom of choice, discourage individual initiative, and foster hostility and cynicism. People feel more committed to the organization when you give them the freedom to think for themselves and make their own decisions. Sincerity, openness, optimism, and goodwill are essential components of authentic conversations. A huge U.S. East Coast paper was encountering the issues that defy many significant papers: decreasing ad revenues, decreasing circulation, and increasing costs. Laborers dreaded cutbacks. The morale had never been lower. A series of meetings with employees in small groups were scheduled by the publisher. His message read, "We will get restored. We will devise novel strategies to increase advertising and circulation. In other words, be assured that I will keep you safe." People choose to be accountable, motivated, and committed, not because they are required to. Sadly, the publisher was sending his troubled employees the wrong message despite his good intentions. He wasn't being completely honest with them. All things being equal, he was attempting to take care of them, our caretaking, an all-too-normal administration strategy. In addition, the publisher was absolving the employees of any responsibility for improving the situation by pledging to save the sinking ship. He was actually treating them like young children. Change the culture, change the conversation. The publisher was told by the business consultants who had explained this to him that his style of communication was actually making things worse. They advised him to stop hiding the truth because he probably couldn't guarantee his employees a bright professional future on his own. The consultants suggested that the publisher inform his staff that everyone would need to contribute to the turnaround. In a nutshell, they told him to have authentic conversations with his workers. We have all been brought up in a culture in which conversation is frequently viewed as a tool for getting what we want and convincing others of our point of view, says the author. The publisher met with the newspaper's employees once more, this time in a large group and with a starkly different message, demonstrating character and courage. He informed them that his previous claim that he would resolve the company's issues was untrue and of no use. He said that everyone at the newspaper would need to work together to solve the problems facing the company. He then requested that the specialists take care of their business-related nerves and feelings. Both the dynamics of our relationships and the words we use to communicate with one another transmit messages. His staff members then stood up and gave the publisher their approval. Finally, a member of the executive team had addressed them as adults rather than as children. By dealing with them in a relevant and sincere manner, the publisher had demonstrated respect for them. For both the publisher and the employees, it was a groundbreaking moment. Conversations are crucial because conversations create culture. They are the basic elements that people use to convey their versions of reality and to invite others to share their ideas of how things ought to be. The meaning of events can be bolstered or altered by these exchanges. They have a remarkable capacity to define an organization's shared basic assumptions, or corporate culture. Your company's culture will also be positive and hopeful if the conversations there are positive. They will have a negative impact on the thoughts of your employees if they are pessimistic and negative. Organizations have been built on the idea that people should be held accountable and that someone else should do that. Issues of responsibility and accountability are also shaped by conversations within your organization. Communication is frequently stilted in organizations governed by a command and control management style. It resembles conversation between parents and children. An employee might, for instance, state, "I don't push back when my boss tells me to do something, even if it doesn't make sense to me." Or, "Management's job is to figure out what's wrong and fix it when my morale is low." An entrenched parent-child culture in the workplace won't lead to the best results in today's demanding business environment. An empowered worker, on the other hand, might say, "When I see something is wrong, I want to solve it. I'm supposed to take care of it and I'm responsible for it." A company that upholds and values these tenets is the only one that can foster this sense of shared responsibility. Business literacy refers to the degree to which each employee at the company comprehends the business of the business and knows which tasks to prioritize in order to assist the business. Everyone is aware of their part in ensuring the success of the business. Choice means that employees don't have to get approval from many levels of management to make decisions on their own in service to the business and customers. Accountability means that employees accept the consequences of their actions on behalf of the company and feel responsible for them. Poor negativity breeds cynicism. The wrong kind of conversation can quickly harm or kill any change initiative due to their power. Don't think that what executives say to each other or post on company bulletin boards or in boardrooms, auditoriums, or meeting rooms determines the scope of corporate discourses. Bathrooms, factory floors, hallways, restaurants, bars after work, and other informal settings are where the most powerful conversations take place. Your company's culture is defined by these conversations. In order to have a positive effect on how people at your company think and behave, you should encourage meaningful conversations between top leaders and employees. If you don't take this step, your business won't get better. Authentic conversations are not for the faint of heart, despite the fact that they are relatively straightforward and simple in and of themselves. In order to ensure the happiness and contentment of your employees, it is essential to encourage genuine conversations in the workplace. People who believe they have a voice at work are more committed and engaged. If you deprive your people of their freedom, for instance, by telling them, "Do it my way, or else," they will quickly become jaded pessimists. They might steal from the company, goldbrick at work, show up late or leave early, or goldbrick at work. They might criticize the company in front of anyone who will listen. Thus, turnover at your firm could increment, and spirit, efficiency and client care could weaken. To keep away from such issues, have open, genuine discussions with individuals on your staff. Being honest with others is always best, whether it's at work or in life. Having genuine conversations. It takes courage to have genuine conversations. To have a genuine conversation, you must take the path with the most resistance. In comparison, manipulating, convincing, and persuading are simple. Speakers use language to get their way in those situations. They may logically enclose others or even hinder them with cases of predominant rationale or certain realities. When a relatively small number of people change their views and behavior, critical connections are made. The problem is that most people prefer to decide for themselves. They have viewpoints and detest communication that is unilateral. Avoid using strategies like selling, bartering, and convincing. Be immediate with your representatives. Make sure to emphasize your 8 personal commitments. Remembering others as free and responsible, dispose of the time tickers, the inflexible staff strategies and the presentation assessments. Your employees get the wrong message from them. Your laborers aren't unreliable kids you should screen, pressure and control. Give your employees enough respect to let them take responsibility for their actions at work. Choosing engagement over manipulation. People are not things that you can control. Always speak up for yourself and others. Engage with them honestly. Try not to be manipulative. Instead of using words like winning or selling, focus on collaboration. Do you use language to communicate or to deceive? Using language for disclosure over effect. Do you try to hide your agenda or are you open about your goals? Put it all on the table to have genuine conversations with other people. If they don't trust you, no one will help you. Be direct and honest to get their cooperation. Choosing consent and commitment over compliance. You are deceiving yourself if you think you are forcing employees to think and act as you want. You might think you are in control when you take a stab at controlling others through control and orders, however it is a deception. When under pressure, people always choose how to react. They will frequently oppose or even sabotage your efforts. Give employees the freedom to choose how they behave at work rather than relying on tactics of command and control. This is the best way to win their commitment to the company's policies and demonstrates your respect for them. Putting the relationship at risk. It's hard to be honest with other people. Some people are unable to maintain open relationships. This is especially true in workplaces with a problematic parent-child culture. Managers in those businesses act as if their employees are unreliable children they must control and discipline. Employees mistakenly believe that they are not personally obligated to assist their companies. These mindsets become deeply ingrained in the corporate culture over time. Getting rid of these illusions can be unsettling. Relationships at work might suffer or even break down. That is frequently the cost of being honest. Choosing contribution and worth over self-interest and cynicism, disappointment is the path to genuine engagement. As a result, it's easy to become cynical. Don't give up on trying to openly communicate with others despite setbacks. Embracing accountability for the whole. If managers and staff members see employees as partners, the organization will have a shared interest in achieving its objectives. Consequently, everyone will be willing to contribute to the success of the business. Willingness to grieve and let go. Every worker ought to think of themselves as independent, responsible individuals who are accountable for their actions. That is your company's objective. Obtain it by having open conversations. At the same time, employees need to start realizing that the company cannot guarantee results. They might put in a lot of effort and have a positive attitude, but they might not get the results they expected. Both employees and supervisors need to accept the fact that not everything always goes according to plan. How to structure a genuine conversation. Having genuine conversations is not an easy task. They require cognizant aim, consistent consideration and normal use. Being truthful is one of those skills where practice is required to become proficient. Our primary strategy for bringing about and maintaining change is conversations. Avoid engaging in harmful conversational patterns like manipulating information, threatening, blaming, taking care of, arguing, and prescribing. Be sure to extend goodwill to the other person instead. All genuine conversations are built on that one step. Be clear and direct. Actively listen and maintain connection. Pay attention to how you and the other person are feeling. Follow these steps. State the reason for the conversation or meeting. We're meeting to talk about the project's circumstances, which have become difficult, is an example. State your intention to resolve the issue. My intention for gathering us is to figure out a way we can make this work. As I see it, you are disappointed with the way this project is proceeding. Name the difficult issues clearly and directly, without judgment. Others have informed me that you believe that I am the problem. Please elaborate on your perspective on the situation. Own your contribution to the difficult issues. When we missed the first deadline, I neglected to address the strain in our relationship. What's more, I've been faulting you for not coming to me. I want to work this out together, is equivalent to invite engagement and request the assistance of the other person. Ask for the other person's perspective. What is your perspective on what has happened in our relationship and how it affects the project? It sounds like you do think this is my fault and you are still angry with me. Shift responsibility by asking how the other person wants to proceed. How do you propose we proceed? You can't expect others to have hope and optimism if you can't choose them. Though they aren't a cure-all, genuine conversations can be transformative. Because the participants do not sugarcoat information, these open adult discourses are meaningful. They assist you and your coworkers in confronting difficult issues constructively and maturely. In conversations with coworkers, acknowledge and respect everyone's points of view. Encourage employees with differing points of view to freely express their thoughts in order to resolve difficult issues and improve problematic relationships. Create a brand new sense of common purpose. Develop feelings of hope and commitment, while avoiding cynicism and retreat. Consider every genuine conversation as an opportunity to enhance your company's culture. Thank you for joining us on The Success Face for today's discussion on authentic conversations. We hope that you found value in the insights shared by Jamie and Maren Showkeir on the importance of authentic communication in building strong relationships and creating positive change. Remember to always be genuine and transparent in your interactions with others, and don't be afraid to have difficult conversations. We'll see you in the next episode of The Success Face. Your feedback is important to us. If you have any thoughts or opinions on the video, we would love to hear them in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Share it with your friends and loved ones. We send you thousands of blessings, much success, and much happiness for you and your entire family.